Hey all, welcome to ShareTrekc. This is Raj here. To all our American friends, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving dinner, and I hope there wasn't too much of politics on the dinner table and everything was fine. With that said, today I want to talk about the genomic sequencing companies, Illumina and PACB. We haven't looked into them in detail jointly for quite a while, and I think it's about overdue because the valuations are looking juicy for Illumina. So let's get started. Welcome back, friends. First, let me show you a bird's eye view of our watch list from a relative valuation perspective. I'm going to take you to one of the earlier websites that I used to look at very often. And for some reason, I lost track of it. And again, I found it. So I'm going to show you our watch list in that website. It's called Coifin. It's a wonderful website for financial data. So let's go there first. Well, friends, here is our watch list on Coifin. And the facility out here is that you can select the ratios that you want to look at. And in this case, I have put price to sales as a main ratio that we want to look at because our companies are not profitable and they have not made much products that can consistently give them profits. So I think price to sales makes much more sense. And if you look at the price to sales for Pacific Bio, it's 13.5 times. Whereas if you look for Illumina, it's only 3.5 times. Lower the price for sales, the more attractively priced the company is. So if you look at, for example, Verve Therapeutics, it's got 101.3 times price to sales. So one has to be careful with Verve Therapeutics. Whereas CRISPR is now picking up, it's becoming more expensive. And you will notice that when it comes to Bluebird, it is still inexpensive, and that's mainly because of the weakness in the balance sheet. They might have to come up with equity dilution, and that's what is keeping them low. So having said that, Illumina seems very juicy, but is it really something that you have to get into? So if you look at the compounded annual growth rate, the return has been negative 20.52. As far as Illumina is concerned, thanks to the Grail issue, if you look at PACB, it's been positive. So that pushes things in favor of PACB, but then the multiples are too high. So could Illumina make a turnaround? And if it did, it can catch up with PACB, and you can imagine the amount of upside you're going to get with Illumina. So now let us look at other information that we have. So when we are looking at PACB and Illumina, it's a given that we are talking about genomic sequencing machines and models and technology. And that is the same paradigm in which this differential of price to sales is seen. So in this given sequence, right, everything is based on machine sales and consumables and whatnot. So what is new is that it now seems that Illumina is going on a new initiative that might create a little bit of competition for Bioworks, or maybe it could be synergistic for Bioworks. I'm just going to explain the way I'm thinking, and you can put your thoughts in the comments. Somewhere in mid-November 2023, Illumina announced Pathogen Sequencing Initiative. Now, Illumina's Global Health Access Initiative aims to enhance local health systems by enabling countries to conduct pathogen sequencing locally. Now, immediately you can think of ConcenTric of Ginkgo Bioworks. So this approach strengthens preparedness, allows for better management of health threats, and eliminates the need for costly and time-consuming sample shipments abroad. So this initiative addresses challenges such as pricing for sequencing instruments and consumables, making genomics more accessible by offering discounted prices for various sequencing applications. These applications include drug resistance profiling, monitoring virus evolution, respiratory pathogen detection, and environmental surveillance. And Illumina's program simplifies the budgeting and procurement through single part number combination kits encompassing all necessary components for these applications. This also includes the wastewater sampling to find pathogens. So all those things that Ginkgo is already doing with ConcenTric. This will make the biosecurity product of Ginkgo Bioworks, ConcenTric, to face additional competition. If you look at it from a particular perspective, its potential clients might end up being able to afford buying the hardware and consumables. But then the question is, are they going to have the appetite to staff the people, maintain those equipment, and train the people and keep them updated and do all the processing? So the competition is not direct. Right now, Concentric clients do not seem to have to buy the equipment because Concentric does sample collection, analysis, and delivers the result. It's possible that in the event that any of its clients decided to buy the hardware, I mean, when I say clients, I also mean potential clients, it could reduce Ginkgo's cost, and they may come up with a new product or service where they say, we can operate these facilities for you. You just buy the hardware at a discounted rate and the consumables at a discount rate. We'll put our staff out there to operate everything. We'll train our staff and keep them up to date. Your responsibility is just to keep hardware and consumables up to date. So they could come up with that product. And why I'm saying that is because Ginkgo has been very flexible. I'll give you a couple of case studies from Ginkgo that illustrates how they are very agile and flexible to work around the client's capabilities and requirements. So with Illumina's initiative, the clients will be able to buy the equipment cheaper. There could be two separate markets because many clients may not want to invest in the equipment, staffing and training and maintenance. However, some clients may buy subsidized equipment and outsource operations and maintenance. And that's where I think Ginkgo comes in as an outsourced operator who can take over a facility and operate it for the client. If you look at the Concentric model, they customize their offerings based on client needs. An example was how they handle different school districts as per local need. If you get the opportunity, just go to their website and go to the case studies section. And there they have given a bunch of case studies. I have took the one from the school districts that they have handled. They have handled different school districts for COVID monitoring. So this demonstrates that Concentric is very flexible and may modify its offering to back the business and work around the client's needs instead of one-size-fits-all approach. So in case of a particular school district in California, the need to send the sample by courier and it taking a lot of time, there being no processing center out there. Ginkgo came up with a custom solution which was able to give quick results and quick surveillance of the school population. So those kind of customized approach is what makes the Concentric solution superior, I think. And I feel that it's quite possible that once Ginkgo Bioworks starts looking at the activity of Illumina in this area, which I think they must have already taken notice of. They might already be on the drawing board crafting a new service where their cost of operations will go down because they will no longer need to buy sequencing machines and consumables. They could advise their clients, okay, you buy Illumina sequencers, you'll get it at a special deal because they have a special promotion going on to help various countries. And this could actually help them to boost their enrollment of various countries for Concentric if they are smart. That's my opinion. Now, coming back to genomic sequencers, the question then becomes whether PACB is too expensive or if Illumina is undervalued. I think that the markets are at crossroads, and with the VIX historically low, a bounce back in the VIX cannot be ruled out because it's already gone to the bottom. Let me just show you once more. So here we are on the VIX. So we are at an all-time low, very close to an all-time low on VIX. So it could either bounce back from this green line or it could bounce back before, like it has done in the past. In the past, it has bounced back at this stage or even before this. So it could happen anytime now, and maybe next week is the time when we see a bit of reds out here and the increasing volatility. Because if we were to go into QQQ, and if we were to take a weekly outlook, right? Let us go for a weekly outlook and see how we have performed. We have had 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of straight green candles. And the last green candle, of course, it was a short week, so it is small. But I suspect that given that there is a huge resistance out here, next week we might probably go in and then push back down. And this support at 374.86 will be our first line of support. So anything could happen here. And if that happens, and if the VIX starts going up, and if NASDAQ starts going down, then what we can see is that in that event, PACB is likely to lose more than Illumina because Illumina is already at rock bottom, and it's likely to lose much less as compared to PACB, in my personal opinion. And this is not financial advice. Okay, please do your own due diligence. Whenever I do these videos, I'm just expressing my opinions out there. So now let us look at PACB. Okay, in the latest quarterly report, we saw 72% increase in revenues as compared to previous year. So that's a positive. It has reducing net loss per share of 26 cents as compared to 34 cents loss for the same quarter the last year. So it's a very good improvement. And with cash and cash equivalents of 767.8 million at the end of Q3 2023, as compared to 772.3 million at the end of 2022, the cash burn seems to be much low, thanks to increasing revenue, and they are doing very well. So, however, PACB is still a loss-making company. We have to remember that. So that's what I would say about PACB. It's a good thing that in the last 2 quarters, they did better than the street expectation on both EPS as well as revenue. So this makes me think that PACB is looking good. And let me take you to the TipRanks website. As you can see here in the TipRanks website, we have a range of forecast for the price of PACB over the next 12 months. So the highest in the next 12 months is at $19 and the lowest is at $8. And the average is around 11.80. That shows around a 38% upside for this stock. And I think this is more possible to happen given that the company has got no scandals or no issues like Grail, and they're constantly working on coming up with better and better systems and increasing their market share. So they are doing all the right things that a company needs to do. But I don't think they are doing anything like what Illumina has done. But Illumina is now a desperate company, in my opinion, because of the Grail issue. And they need to do things, think outside the box and start looking at all the places where they can get something or the other. Now, let us also look at Illumina. I think Illumina is a different beast. Until there is all their Grail issue, I do not think that they are going to be able to get consistently higher. I could not find the dates for hearing of this case. I searched a lot, but I couldn't find. And if I find something, I'll let you know. The outcome of that case, which Carl Icahn had slapped on the Illumina board individually, it's a derivative lawsuit, and that could determine how this share moves going forward. And I think their move to offer subsidized sequencing machine consumables and providing it as a single part number so that people don't have to guess what all is needed for a particular applications, and providing that in a subsidized manner to various countries which cannot generally afford these things is a positive. But the question is how many of them are going to bite? On the other hand, if you look at Ginkgo Bioworks, it's already providing these services without the clients having to buy any hardware. So that's an advantage for Ginkgo Bioworks. And in case the client does buy the hardware, Ginkgo can always come with a package of service where they can say, we can run your center with our staff. You just provide us the consumables and the hardware. We'll do the rest, and here is the price for it. You're hiring our staff instead of paying by the reports. So they could do something like that, which will be synergistic for both Illumina as well as Ginkgo Bioworks. They could probably do a joint offering, and Concentric can benefit and all that. So I'll be watching that space going forward. Ginkgo is very agile, so I think they might probably even approach Illumina and try to do some packaging of things together. At this stage, I think Illumina will be very receptive to these kind of moves. As far as Illumina is concerned, they want to sell consumables and sequencing machines. And for Ginkgo, it would mean that they have to put less capital and still they would be able to expand Concentric and capture the market share before competitions arise. So I think this is going to be a catalyst for Ginkgo as well. But now coming back to Illumina, I keep on going back to Ginkgo. So let's look at Illumina. Let me take you to the TipRanks to see the same forecast that we had for PACB, what they have to say about Illumina. So here we are for Illumina. TipRanks has got average price of $135 as a forecast for 12 months out from now. And their high forecast is $260 and the low forecast is $50 and the average is $135. The average of $135 marks a 37.28% upside, and the low of 50 shows that probably you might have an opportunity to buy Illumina cheaper. But at this stage, if you were to look at what Illumina is looking like, let us go into Illumina out here in the TradingView platform. So Illumina is already at the rock bottom. Of course, it could go down further because the momentum is weak, but whenever we have been so low on momentum, we have done nothing but bounce back. So we may be bouncing through this bear channel for the time being. We need to see some consolidation. Let me go into a daily chart. So as you can see, we have a consolidation out here. So this is a consolidation because you can draw two trend lines and contain everything within those two parallel trend lines. So in my opinion, this is a consolidation. Now what we have to see is, are we able to break out above this diagonal line of resistance? And if that happens, I think Illumina has a good chance of avoiding the possibility of being as low as $50 as estimated by some analysts. Now, when it comes to Illumina, there are 7 analysts who are saying buy, 5 saying hold, and 3 saying sell. And at the same time, if you look at PACB, 7 analysts are saying buy and 3 are saying hold, and nobody is saying sell. So the confidence on PACB is much higher than the confidence on Illumina. There is one more stock which I can sell. It is FNGU. I'm sitting on a profit of around $3,500 out there. So I could sell FNGU and take out the money on Monday and use some of the money. But I would be afraid to put it into Illumina because there is still a lot of risks out there. And I would also be afraid to put it on PACB because the multiples, price to sale multiples is high. So I would then say that maybe I would not put any money in the genomic sequencing industry at this point of time. Firstly, because I don't have it. And secondly, if I have it, I'm not yet clear if this is the right time to move in. So that's the conclusion with which I would like to leave you all. And I would also take a fresh look at Ginkgo Bioworks, and I'll keep on watching them to see if they announce any new service which can capitalize on what Illumina is doing, or if they can go one step further and collaborate with Illumina and get into a place where Illumina sells the hardware and the consumables along with services from Ginkgo Bioworks, so that the client has to do nothing and Ginkgo does the running of the facilities and providing the technical know-how. So let us see what happens. This could be win-win for Illumina and Ginkgo. And maybe the new year will tell us what's going to happen. I would like to hear from you guys, because some of you have invested in Ginkgo, some in PACB, some in Illumina, and a few of you actually have more information about these companies than I do. So please make sure that you put your comments so that the community and myself, we can all get educated on some things that we don't know. Also, I'd like to know the way I had looked at these two companies and also Ginkgo Bioworks. What do you think about my assumptions and my conclusions and my rationale? Please put that in the comment section, and it always helps. And one more thing, if you liked this video, please do not hesitate to press a like out there, because that's what will help our videos to reach other people and help grow the channel. And when the channel grows, it gives revenues to the channel, and that helps me do better programs, get some staff and others, because it's now getting a bit hectic to do all this by myself and keep up this pace. So your like definitely helps. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.